Hello, my Teaserking family. All right, finally, the fucking mic wasn't working. Finally got the mic working. Okay. Sometimes YouTube, I don't know why the mic doesn't work sometimes. It just freezes. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so another economics video as I'm multitasking. I did football earlier today. So if you just really want to talk football and hear that, it's a live class. Again, it's a class, it's not a show. We're talking football, then bring stuff in, that's fine. Think of this as a classroom and I'm the professor. But I also know Austrian economics, gold, and everything else about that. So instead of looking at a 3-hour video and trying to get to the part of gold or silver that you want to get to, I'm breaking that out here. So I did what's inflation? Nobody seems to know. They think it's prices. It's not. Or I was watching a video on the oil problem in Yemen, and the shipping's going to be delayed and it's going to be more expensive. And they said, well, that's going to be inflation. It's not inflation. The way you get a price is you add up your costs. And if your costs go up, it's not inflation. It's the cost going up. Inflation is only inflating the money supply. That's it. It's got nothing to do with prices. And yet, either they're too stupid to know or they just don't know and they just say the wrong thing. Everybody calls it prices. Anyway, so let's talk scams and Ponzi schemes. Now, the biggest Ponzi scheme is the bank system. It's all the paper fiat currency because this is all printed. This is your Ponzi scheme. This has no value. This is a piece of paper that's absolutely worthless. That's printed and printed. There's trillions of this paper out there, and it has no value. But people don't understand and think it does. They think if they have $100 bill, it's worth $100. What they fail to see is the $100 isn't worth anything anymore. Go to the grocery store. What do you get? 5 things in your cart. So the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world is this printing this fiat currency, which is not backed by gold or silver, which is backed by nothing. And it's basically just criminal. And the banks print it and then they stuff it in their pocket and buy stock with it and buy houses with it. And you'll see all these politicians with all this money because they are a bunch of thieves. And the Ponzi scheme is you think you have 500 grand in the bank and I'm going to retire until you realize you don't have anything in the bank. Your 500 isn't worth anything because you've been Ponzi schemed. You think this has value and it doesn't. Because it's not backed by gold and because it gets printed and printed and printed, trillions and trillions of dollars, the more you print, the less they're worth. They're not worth anything. They say it's gone down 99%. I say it's gone down 100%. People don't realize it's like if I serve you turkey. There's this old movie called The Freshman with the Don in it. And they made you believe you're eating a Komodo dragon, but it was really turkey. And nobody knew. And the way they showed the dragon, they never killed it and they never cooked it. And then they're serving turkey. And that's kind of what it is you don't understand that this dollar's worthless. Nobody's going to say it in charge because that means they have worthless money. So you're JP Morgan, you're sitting on, let's say you're Warren Buffett and you're sitting on $2 billion. Well, you're so stupid you think it has value. What you don't realize is 2 billion times 0 is 0. You're sitting on nothing. You don't realize it. That's the Ponzi scheme. So everybody's sitting there and they're trying to work hard and make money and save the money and pay your bills. And the reason you are fooled is because they pay you in the dollars and then you can pay your bills in the dollars. So you think, oh, look, I paid my rent with this money. it must have, your rent's $1,000. Well, look, I paid the 1,000 with this money. It must have value. And it doesn't. It's just the dollar isn't, the $100 isn't worth anything anymore. So what happens is the value of the dollar is worthless. And they'll tell you the prices have gone up, and the prices haven't gone up. It's the dollar is going down and down in value, which means as they inflate, as they print the dollars, you need more dollars. The value of the dollar is dropping. So what's happening now? Yeah, Coca-Cola, it's $3.50 now for a 2-liter at Kroger's. Did the price of Coke go up? Mm-mm. The value of the dollar dropped, which caused you needing more dollars to buy the Coke, the Oreos, the Lucky Charms, whatever it is that you want to buy. The value of the dollar dropped, making it take more dollars to buy it. And you think, oh, the prices are going up. They're not. They're just trying to make the same $5 per carton as they were making before. It's just the $5 isn't worth anything. So this is the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world because it's every country. And how did this happen? Well, as I explained before, there's Austrian economics and Keynesian economics. In Keynesian economics, which is what every government is and all their finance people are, they're just full of crap. They're not, it's wrong. They don't want gold because they can't steal from you with gold. Gold you only have as many ounces of gold as you have. And so you go on the gold standard and you have $1 million in gold, you can only print $1 million. Well, if I want to rob you, I need to print more, but I can't because I can only print as many gold as I can. Now you could raise the value of gold, which is what you should do. And now I got $5 million in gold, so I can now print $5 million. That's the way you should do it. Just raise the value of gold. But to just print money out of thin air, that's like saying I'm going to eat a cheesecake and not gain any weight and not get sick and not get diabetes and won't raise my sugar. I mean, it's bullshit. So what's happened is George Soros rigs all the elections, so they're all fake. And his people go in and then they hire Keynesians and they print and print and print, which is why there's nobody on the gold standard. Only idiots would not be on the gold standard if your job is to run a clean money. So in a country, according to the Austrians, the laws have to be clean, the money has to be clean. And you have a small military and, you go off the Constitution. You don't have a central bank. You don't have money that's not backed by anything. So it's just bullshit. So what's happening is we've got all these criminals all over the world printing. And it's like a disease. Oh, I print 1 billion. Oh, I'm going to print 2 billion tomorrow and 5 billion. Well, you can't because as you print them, they have no value. And then look at the debt. The U.S. debt's now 35 trillion, going to 40. All the other countries have huge debts. Well, you got to pay it back. That means you borrowed it from somebody. That's what the debt is. I owe you. You can't just ignore it. So we're reaching the end. The dollar really has no value. The Ponzi scheme is you think it does. The Ponzi scheme is you think you have a retirement. You think you have, 300 grand, 400 grand in your bank from your 401k from working hard, and you don't. I cashed in my IRA. I was working at a liquor company, and I wasn't there long, but they were kind and gave me a severance. Well, they didn't give me a severance. Well, they gave me a severance, but they gave me a 401k. They said, well, it'll be worth $200-300 a month when you hit 59. So I get it. And then there's a clause that says, well, if you prefer, we'll give you $25,000 in cash in a lump sum as opposed to $200-300 a month. And I'm figuring, well, the $200-300 a month in about 5 years will be worth $25. If I take the 25 grand now, I can buy gold with it. So it was a no-brainer. I took it and I bought gold with it. Well, it still had a value because the longer you wait for your money, the less it's worth because these idiots are printing it. So I got money in gold, and gold holds its value. That's the beauty of gold. They can't print it. They can't keep printing and printing and printing gold. It's only as much as you dig out of the ground. That's it. That's why it holds its value. That's why it's highly recommended and highly sought after. That's the money, right? The Constitution says only gold and silver can be money. But what we have now, people not listening to the Constitution. There shouldn't be a Federal Reserve. There isn't one. There shouldn't be paper money. There is. The whole thing's absolutely a joke. They're ignoring the Constitution, which is why we became a great country, the U.S., because we had the Constitution. We had gold. From like 1814 to 1913, we used gold. And we were the best country in the world that's ever seen it. And we're still kind of living off of that. But now it's getting harder and harder because they're printing the money as fast as like water. And the problem is it's not backed by anything, so it's not worth anything. So the Ponzi scheme around the world is you think that the money has value, and you don't. So that's the big problem. I watched like the Attack on Wall Street movie where the guy buys real estate trust, and he got scammed because he bought $60,000 worth of real estate trust. The people weren't paying their mortgages because the interest rates went up, and all of them were worthless because the way this company worked it, when you pay your mortgage, they take, let's say they charge them 9%, they would give you 6%. So they make 3%. As long as everybody paid their mortgage, they got in the 9, they could give you 6 of it. Problem is people stopped paying the mortgage because the interest rates went up, and the people should never have gotten the mortgages because they had no credit. They weren't working. You would never loan to these people. Me or you would never loan to these people. So we end up, so this guy ends up losing $60,000. Oh, by the way, so as people couldn't pay, they just sold these papers, super real estate trust, and they sold them all. They just dumped them on the market, and then they told the guy, "Oh, yeah, you got zero." This is why he attacked Wall Street and killed everybody, because he had gotten scammed. I always say, had he bought gold for the $60,000, it would have been worth $110,000 in 2008, and he wouldn't have killed anybody. But the second big scam is the government wants you in paper because everything runs through this. The banks, Wall Street, the government are all on dollars. So everything. So if you go to a financial advisor or stockbroker, he's going to keep you in dollars because that's how he gets commission. He gets commission in dollars. If he says buy gold, he doesn't get commission on it, and then it's outside the system. So for him and everybody who he works for to get commission, they want you in dollars. So if it's a bank, they'll try to sell you. I went into the bank to pull money to buy gold. Oh, I got a 9% annuity for you. And I says, yeah, but it's still in paper. It's worthless. I want gold because gold can never be worthless. And so I basically told him to fuck off. I wasn't interested, and 9% of nothing is nothing. So I go and buy gold, but they'll never tell you buy gold. This is the scam. Oh, buy stocks, buy bonds. Oh, buy annuities, buy life insurance, buy foreign exchange, play the foreign exchange things. So they'll buy the real estate trust. They're always going to want you in Wall Street instruments because they make a lot of money on it. That's why they get the big bonuses. But it's all a Ponzi scheme. Then, well, it's really a scam. I'll get into Ponzi scheme with Madoff in a minute. So it's a scam because he's keeping you in the dollar world, or universe, as I call it. So he's keeping you in this, and this is all corrupt, and this is all bullshit, and it's all worth zero. So you're in Microsoft, or you're in Apple, or you're in a real estate trust where you think people are paying their mortgages. What risk do I have? Oh, well, the people should never have gotten the mortgages. And then the ratings company screw you because they say, oh, they're AAA rated, and they're not even E rated. Whatever the lowest is, that's what it is. This guy's not working. He has no masters. He's not going to make any money. Why would you give him a loan? So the reason why is because Clinton forced the banks to give the loans. If they didn't give the loans, they were giving them problems. And so they forced them to take these people with no credit and loan them the money, even though they didn't want to. So again, it goes back to the government fucking everybody over. I don't know why Clinton would want that. What was the point? Janet Reno. But you could see it coming because they're the ones who did it. So now they're taking loans and making mortgages for people that had no right. They weren't following what me and you would do. Somebody wants $100 from you. Well, how are you going to be able to pay me back? Well, I don't work and I owe 10,000, so probably not. Well, then I'm not going to loan you the money. So they forced the banks to do the loans in the first place, and they gave them to them at low interest rates. But as the interest rates went up, they basically couldn't afford it, and they had to, get forced out and declined on their mortgages, and they had to, let it go. So my Attack on Wall Street guy loses his 60 grand. He's blindsided. He doesn't know he says, well, I thought these were 8% guaranteed. What are you, an idiot? You think something's guaranteed? But they don't understand they're in the dollar universe and they need to get to the gold universe. The gold universe cannot have Ponzi schemes and scams. But you must play physical. You cannot play ETFs or stocks or paper type of gold derivative instruments. If you do that, you're going to lose because now you're still in the paper universe, even though you think you're in the gold. So if you buy a gold ETF, you think you have gold, you don't. That's a big Ponzi scheme that this Rick Rude and this other these silver guys and ETFs are play with you. They lie to you. They go off the silver price, but they're not physical silver. So it's not like you can say, okay, I got 20 ounces of gold. I want it. There isn't 20 ounces of gold to give you. He's Ponzi schemed it off where 1 ounce goes to 1,000 people. So 1,000 people think they own the ounce. Nobody gets it. So stay away from ETFs, stay away from IRAs, stay away from stocks, anything in the paper universe, stay away from. The only way to own gold is go to a gold store or coin store. It's $2,000 an ounce, maybe $2,100 with the premium. You buy the U.S. or Cougaran or Maple Leaf or Philharmonic, Australian, buy a country's that says it. You know it's real. Now, most stores should have a little machine and they're checking, going, yep, this is real. It's authentic. So once you have it, then you go back to the store, that's what they're doing. So you're comfortable. You're actually buying gold and not getting scammed. Be careful buying people from China and online. And, Mao Zedong is selling gold, which is supposed to be $2,000 an ounce for $500. All right, that's a red flag. Don't be an idiot. It's obviously not real. It's probably copper, brass. It's not gold. So you buy the Maple Leaf, buy the U.S. Eagle, buy the Buffalo. It says 1 ounce of gold on it. We'll show you. And there is a premium because it's undervalued because these idiots don't know how to price it. So we will show you. So I'm showing you this so you don't get scammed. So you see how it says American Eagle, 2094. Here's a Maple Leaf, 21, which is surprising. The Maple Leaf's worth more than $1. And here's the Cougaran for 21. So it says 1 ounce. Fine gold, 1 ounce, Maple Leaf. Okay, you're fine. 9999. and it says Canada on it, you know you're good. It says Cougaran on it, you know you're good. And it says 1 ounce of fine gold. Okay, and it looks gold. Here's the eagle. I think on the back it'll say 1 ounce of fine gold. It's a good price, $20.96 if these are 21.15s. So those are what you buy, or Philharmonics, which is Austrian gold. So most countries have, but those are the big 3 or 4 to use. So if you do that, so you look at the spot price, and the spot price says 2,057. We know the spot price isn't accurate. We know it should be 20,000 because they're price fixing that. But okay, we pay a little bit of a premium, $50, $75, $100 on it because that's what we do. I mean, it's the only way to buy it is they all have a little premium on it, but not a lot. And the most important thing is you buy the gold and then you have the coin and you put it in your safe. So the key is that you have you're collecting, I don't like the stacking term. I think it sounds stupid. You're collecting it. You're collecting gold. You're a collector, just like baseball cards. I don't stack Mahomes. I collect Mahomes. I don't stack silver and gold. I collect it. So I'm collecting the silver and gold. So I really just want ounces. You can buy half ounces, quarter ounces, tenth of an ounces of gold, not so much in silver. You can buy mercury dimes, but they're not the same. You'd rather just buy the ounce, or if they have half ounces of silver, but I usually get the 1 ounce of silver. It's so cheap, it's $25. And I know that's $1,000 at least. So I walk out of the store going, hey, I got $1,000 silver for $25. It's Christmas. And so that's what I do is I'm buying it. But you should know what the price is. You go on eBay, you see what it is. You find a store to go to, and that way there's no shipping and there should never be tax on gold and silver because it's money. It's not a collectible. So if they try to 1099 you might take it, but I wouldn't put it on my tax return because I would say I didn't buy this as a collectible. I bought it as money. Money is not taxed. And go from there. They can say anything, oh, it's a collectible. That's not why I bought it. Okay, the Mahomes card, I'm not sure I bought this as a collectible, but it's a collectible. I got to get the definition of collectible, but if I buy gold and silver, it is not as a collectible. It is to get out of the dollar and buy that. So some of the Ponzi schemes have been, or some of the scams have been, the gold IRAs. Oh, if you want to take the coin, they're selling them to you at 6,000 an ounce. You tell them the fuck off. Say, no, I don't. First of all, you don't need it in your IRA. Secondly, if it's worth 2,000 or 2,100, why would I pay 6,000 for it? I'd say I'll pay 2,100. I don't need it in my IRA. It is an IRA. It's yours. It's your retirement. I hear retirement planning shows. Oh, buy stocks. They got you in money again. Buy the stocks and buy a real estate trust and buy this and buy that. You don't need any of that because it's all going to go to zero. You buy the gold. Gold can't be hurt. It can't go down in value. A, there's too much demand, and B, you can't print it to zero like you can all the dollars. So it's coming. This is where I bring up Titanic. You know the boat hit the iceberg. You know it's getting filled with water. You know that's happening. So then it becomes, if that's what's happening, then I'm going to run to the lifeboat. Well, we know the dollar is being printed to zero. And with Biden, we know that's where it's going. And there's really nothing Trump can do because we owe $40 trillion in debt. So you got to pay like $2 trillion to pay the debt, which goes, you got to pay other countries. So you're going to pay that anyway. So it's another Ponzi scheme they got on you. So it's going to zero. I think it's there The key will be when people realize that it's not the prices of Oreos and Coca-Cola going up, it's the dollar going out. And we understand it. You now understand it. But when the majority of the people realize that the dollar is worthless and nobody wants it, then that's the end of the game. But that'll never happen with gold. So what's going to happen is all these billions of people around the world who are sitting in their own money, Japanese, Chinese, Switzerland, whatever, and they all start realizing their dollar is worthless, there is nowhere else to go. You have to go to gold and silver. It's the only, because you can't, there's no other currency that you can go to. You can't go to the US dollar, or Mexican, or Chinese, or anything. It's all worthless. So your only out is to buy gold and silver. Well, there's not that much gold and silver. There's 250,000 tons, and China, Russia have 100,000 of it. So, and then the other central banks are buying it. All that want to be in BRICS need gold because they're coming out with a gold-backed currency. So they're all going to need gold. So the demand's there. It's cheap at 2,000 an ounce. It's way cheap. It should be 20,000. So why did Coke go up to $3.50? So Coke basically doubled, right? It was $1.50. Now it's, let's say, $3. Why didn't gold go up? Why didn't silver go up in value? If the dollar's going out and these are going up, why isn't gold and silver going up? Because they're manipulated. Another Ponzi scheme. So they're keeping the price of gold and silver down, manipulating it down. It's not the real price. So if you look at COMEX and you go, I think it's at 2025 today, that's not the real price, but you think it is because you don't know now. You don't know to challenge it. You go, oh, COMEX 2025. I guess somebody sold it. Who's selling gold in this climate? Nobody's selling gold because all the money's worthless. People who don't know. But now you do. So you take advantage of this low gold price and you get it for $2,000. It's really worth $20,000. And you walk around. Now they keep saying, if you listen to Alligator or Andrew McGuire, Mark McGuire, they'll say, well, it's not the gold going up, it's the dollar going down. And the example I use is in 1971, it was $35 an ounce. Now it's $2,100 for the same ounce of gold. And so what they're saying is it's really not the gold going up. However, in this case, it's also the gold going up because the gold has been suppressed. So the real price of gold is not $2,100. It's the suppressed price of gold. So it's really 20,000 in my estimation, at least. Could be higher. But as everybody jumps in, it's going to go way up because there's not enough supply to cover the demand of everybody whose money is going out. And I would assume when Japan's money goes out and then the euro goes out, the US dollar goes out, everybody else will just say, I better buy gold. Russia and China are coming out with the gold-backed currency. Russia, I think by the second quarter, BRICS will be by the third quarter. Once they come out with gold-backed currency, they're going to need a higher gold price. You'll see 10,000 at least, and then let it be a market of gold, not this paper derivative gold Ponzi scheme that they're using. The other Ponzi scheme we all know about is Madoff. He says, "Oh, give me money, and I'll pay you 15%. So you give me 100,000, I'll give you 15%. Yearly, so I'll give you 12%. I'll give you 1/12 of it every month." But he never invested it. He just took your money, but then he gets somebody else's money. He takes their money to give you money, but then he needs money to pay that guy. So you need a bunch of people giving you money, and the promise is, I'm going to give you 15%, which works until it gets so big that you don't have enough money coming in to offset it, or if people all want to withdraw at the same time, which is what happened in 2008 when everybody was losing money in the housing crisis. They needed money. They go, well, I got $100,000, and Bernie, give me my money. And he didn't have it because it was he needed to get more money in. So that's the Ponzi scheme there. But right now, it's the same Ponzi scheme with dollars. You got JP Morgan printing the money, and instead of going out to get it, and then you got money in the savings account at 5%, that's how they get the money to pay your savings, is by printing money. It's the same Ponzi scheme, just different players. And it's totally illegal. It's totally ridiculous. That's why you have gold. They can't do that in gold. They can never do that in gold. You'll never have interest rates with gold. You'll never have an inflation. You'll never have any really problems with gold because it's stable. An ounce of gold's always an ounce of gold. You set it at 10 grand an ounce. That's what it is. It never moves. It doesn't move because it doesn't have to. And you can't print it. So that's the beauty of it. The other Ponzi scheme is the CPI index. So people sit there and they think that if prices are going up, that's inflation. Well, wait a minute. Coke went up from $2 to $3 for a 2-liter. That's inflation. No, it's not. It's the market. In other words, if Coke could sell it for $3, they will. They don't need the inflation news, and inflation is only printing the money, right? The money supply being inflated is the inflation, not the prices. The prices are the effect because you need more dollars to then buy the goods and service because the dollars aren't worth as much. So if the dollar loses its value and you need more dollars to buy the Coke, that's why Coke's raising the price. However, we're the market. So if we sit there and say, you know what, I'm not going to pay $3 for Coke, and the price of Coke goes down to $2 because they can't make any sales, they'll say, well, inflation's down. How could inflation go down? The only way it can go down is if you have less money supply. So if you went from 2 trillion to 20 trillion money supply, which caused the value of the dollar to be worth a lot less because there's a lot more printed, how do you lower inflation? And then not only that, but how do you calculate inflation? See, inflation, if you left the gold alone, you would say, look, it was $35, now it's $2,000. That's the inflation since 71. But you can't even do that because the 2000 isn't accurate. So let's say it's 20,000. In something like gold, you could measure it. 35 and now 20,000, shit, that's a lot of inflation. Not by prices, because prices, if Coca-Cola goes up, I can go buy Pepsi, or I can buy Faygo, or you know what? I can buy Crystal Light, or I can just buy water. I mean, it's called substitution process in economics. If you have, let's say Kraft salad dressing goes up, you buy another salad. You substitute it for another salad dressing. That is only $2 instead of $4. So that's how you beat them, is you substitute. Look at chips. Why are they so expensive? I go to the gas station. It's like $2.50 for Fritos. I'm like, what are you kidding me? It was 99 cents. Now it's $2.50. Fuck off. I'm not paying that. So if you do not accept the price increase, they got to lower the price because their goal is to sell them. I'm Frito-Lay. I'm trying to sell Fritos. I go from 99 cents to $2.50, but nobody goes with me. Nobody buys. Well, what am I going to do? I got to pay my bills, so I'm going to lower the price back down. Okay, so the first is not inflation, and the second's not, they call deflation. It's not deflation. It's the market saying, no, that's too expensive. So the market's here. I do this with my ribs. The guy sells the ribs for $28 at the barbecue restaurant. That's the market. That's what people agree to pay for them. And then inflation hits and he raises the price to $40. But nobody's going to buy it because we'll pay $25, but we're not going to pay $40. That's too much. That's not what we agree on. So you want to call that inflation, but if people don't buy it, he's going to lower his price back down. So now he's back to the $25, and there is no inflation because nobody paid. It's bullshit. And the price going back down to market is not deflation. It's the market. So people confuse the market And they think if they raise the price, it's inflation. If they lower the price, it's deflation. No, but what is happening, you don't get a raise at work. So you make $10,000. That's all you have to spend. So let's say $7,000 after taxes. Well, the prices go up. That leaves you less money to spend on other things. So you're not going to even get the ribs. They're too expensive. Or maybe you get them once a month, but you don't go every Friday and get ribs. And so that's what happens is you start having less money to buy other goods. And that's what a recession is. Things are too expensive. And that's what we're in. And so you start laying off workers because your sales are down. And your sales are down because you're trying to raise prices and you can't because nobody's going to pay extra for it, because if the market is here and you're trying to sell it up here, and I warned the restaurant owner, I says, if you market at 45, close your doors, because nobody from the market of 25 is going to pay $40, $45 for ribs. Maybe on a birthday, but generally the everyday, every week guys, they're going to see it and they're going to substitute into the chicken or the hamburger. And it's the same thing with like Wendy's. If they go up to $10 for a hamburger, I can go eat at a nice restaurant and get a $10 hamburger. So Wendy's will kill themselves if they go over market. So how does the CPI measure inflation? It can't, because the market's going to do what it does. And if the money's being ruined because it's not gold back, you have less money and things are not going to be as expensive as they can. And therefore, you're going to have to lower the price. It's funny how the Keynesians, the communists, sit there and they talk about, oh, deflation's bad because prices go down. Well, prices are set at the market. If you're killing the dollar and people have less money to spend, of course the prices are going to go down. So what? Prices go up, prices go down. It should be because of the market, not because you're fucking around with the dollar printing more or less of it. And that's really the problem. So that's the other Ponzi scheme, is the CPI. And they'll say, oh, I just heard, oh, inflation's down to 3%. In what universe are you living? Well, the CPI, the prices are dropping. Well, that's got nothing to do with it. What does that have to do? If they printed 20 trillion of these, did they still print 20 trillion? Yeah, the printing hasn't stopped. Then what the fuck are you talking about? Well, the prices are down. Well, the prices could be down because people have less money, and so they got to lower the price. Because, by the way, if I'm in a grocery store and I'm selling Coca-Cola, I got to sell 1,000 cases, or I sell 1,000 bottles of it to break even. And I'm not. It's because of my price rate increase. I'm only at 500 bottles. So how do I make more? Oh, I got to lower my price to sell my 1,000. Well, that's not deflation. That's not inflation coming down. That's the market saying, fuck you, we're not going to pay for it. And Coca-Cola saying, well, we've got to sell, so we've got to lower our prices. And if you'll notice, it's like, oh, buy 2, get 1 free or something on Coca-Cola. But I'm talking the 2 liters. But that's what you got. All these Ponzi schemes. This whole thing is a Ponzi scheme. This isn't real. This is worthless. The only is because the companies, like you go to Kroger's, they have to take it. And if you think it's a digital versus electric, you're out of your mind. The credit card and debit card is electric money. You're not getting rid of this. You have to have this, and you don't want to get rid of it. Look at this bullshit with the Ponzi schemes and scams and digital dollars. So you had Bankman-Fried. What did he do? He stole from everybody. Then there's this one. I'll show you this. The crypto queen. She developed a thing called OneCoin digital currency. The problem is there's no such thing as OneCoin digital currency. So I'm going to play about 3 minutes of this.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly.
At this point, let's give a warm applause for
our creator, our founder, our lovely Dr. Ruja. Ruja, where are you?
This is all a scam.
In
There
the last
isn't
2
anything.
years, I've been called a lot of things.
Ruja Ignatova, who became known as the missing crypto queen, has been accused of defrauding victims out of more than $4 billion.
And probably the best thing that the press called me was the Bitcoin killer.
Ignatova is a German citizen who lived
That this was kind of a scam.
Ruja disappeared in October, November 2017. That was Ruja's last hooray, the last time anybody actually saw her.
Well, it's a bit difficult to say how it all started because it's never one event or it's always a lot of things.
Some call it the biggest investment fraud of all time.
There are two things how it all started. One is cryptocurrency. I was always very, very interested in cryptocurrency, and I was working with McKinsey, and I was doing their very traditional and very big sector, banking and insurance. So Bitcoin somehow popped up, and we were discussing it. So cryptocurrency, yes, was very, very clear to me. I think end of 2013, maybe beginning of 2014. And then I was thinking how to bring this to the masses.
Ruja Ignatova sold her story everywhere. So you missed Bitcoin. Now you have a new opportunity. And if you miss this opportunity, it's your fault. The decision is yours. Many people fell for this ploy. Journalist Philip Boverman has been following the OneCoin scandal for more than 2 years. He's fascinated by the hype.
So she's peddling a digital. You want to buy digital money. You want a central bank digital currency. This is what you want. So she steals $12-15 billion from people who don't want to miss next Bitcoin, who's going to get rich for doing nothing. You're going to get rich for buying a fake coin. It doesn't even exist. That's the thing with digital currency. There is no gold. There is no card. There's nothing you can hold. There's also digital painting and all that, and that's all scams. Anything digital is a scam. And so you must realize that this is absolutely crap. But what does it do? Oh, you're going to get rich. Oh, I want to get rich. Well, you don't understand it. Well, I don't care if I understand it. Look at Bitcoin did, which I question Bitcoin's even real. But all you digital people, what are you doing, right? It's just a matter of time till Bitcoin goes to zero, and you'll be like, I made, and the biggest scam is people have made money in Bitcoin. They bought it low. I could have bought it low. I said, this is a scam, and I didn't buy any of it. And they supposedly got out, but I know they didn't. They're still in it because they think it's going to $1 million. I mean, these people are so freaking stupid. So again, it's you don't know. I can scam you if you don't know, right? How is OneCoin going to make me money? Is it even real? Well, it's digital, so you don't actually receive it. You don't know anything about it, but they make this big song and a dance, so you believe you're going to get rich like they did in Bitcoin, which is all Russian mafia and oligarchs laundering their money. That's it. So there was a painting or one of these monkey faces or something that sold for like $10 million. And it was a fraud because it was like me buying it from you and then you're giving me my money back. And this way we can say, look, you got $10 million to draw people in to buy other ones going, oh, well, that one got 10 million. I'll pay 5 million for this. And you don't get anything. And it's all bullshit. But you got to be careful with these scams. That's why you own gold because you go to the store, you buy the coin, you put it in your safe, you can't get scammed. Oh, I can't get rich. You're going to get rich because when the dollar goes out and everybody from all out the world goes to buy, goes to get out of their dollar once they realize it's worthless, and everybody goes into gold, the gold price will go up. The COMEX, the paper price, will finally fail, and you'll have the real physical price. Right now, the 2000 is not the physical price. Oh, but gold takes too long. No. I want something like Bitcoin. I could make money tomorrow. This is where these people's heads are at. They're all a bunch of freaking idiots. There's no way, nothing that can make you money that fast. Doesn't work like that. That's legal. So again, she's hunted. The mafia want her because they've invested. Think about it. She has $15 billion. A lot of people want to kill you. So she's got to hide out and get a face change and the whole thing. She's got to wear a mask like Mission Impossible, or she's a dead woman. So this is the biggest Ponzi scheme, is all this crypto, all this digital stuff, and it's all based on your greed and get rich quick, but you don't know what it is. How does it work? So when somebody tells me about Bitcoin, I go, what makes the price go up? I don't know. Then how's it going to go up? I don't know. I think it's supply and demand. Is it? I don't think so, but maybe it is. Is there? But everybody's buying it to make money. Well, eventually, there won't be any more to buy, and nobody wants to sell it because they're all afraid they're going to lose money on it. So I tell people who have made money in Bitcoin to sell it and buy gold, because gold's cheap, about to go up, and it's real, and you got it in your hand. Not the Bitcoin is not real. So please be careful. So if I was in Madoff, I would say, okay, Madoff, well, it depends. There's two ways to look at Madoff. If, let's say, my dad was in it for 5 years and he'd get paid every month, I don't know that I'd care about asking him how he gets it. Just the fact that I know, the first of the month I get a check for $1,000 in my account, like clockwork. I don't care what you're doing for it. But I'd like to know more about it so I know when to get out. So when the housing crash hits and I know everybody's going to want their money and it's going to end, I'll see it coming. Like you could see in 2007, the process happened. Like now, I can see that the inflation's hitting. So if I'm in Madoff now and I see the inflation hitting, I get out right now. So give me my money, and I go buy gold with it. The Titanic's hit the iceberg. I get off the Titanic as soon as it hits. I don't wait 5 hours for the boat to fill up and then the mad rush to the lifeboats. Well, what'd you think was going to happen? It hit the iceberg. The water's coming in. The ship's going to sink. So that's what I'm saying now. The dollar's gone. The dollar's worthless. They're printing it to death. So all you can do is get out of it. So I liquidated my bank accounts, my 401k, and I bought gold and silver. I don't need to wait until the price goes up because I know where it's headed. I know the boat's going to sink. So I am out of that. I am into this. So I'm into watching it go up. That's what I know. These Ponzi schemes, this Bakeman, this woman here, this is what you're dealing with, but you don't understand it. And you're playing with fire with these anything digital, you're playing with fire. Oh, I'm going to get rich like Bitcoin. That's all bullshit. That was the first time, and I'm not sure it's real. And you don't get a coin. You get an account with money in it. What happens when there's no money in it? Oh, yeah, we had to liquidate your account. Which is, I'm sure, going to happen. But the only people that buy Bitcoin buy it because they think it's going to go up. They don't know why, and they just buy it. Well, we hope it goes up. That's really not a reason to buy anything. So keep that in mind. Be very leery of, if they can't answer why it's going to go up, run, don't walk. The reason I tell you to gold, it's safe. They can't print it. It's real. It's money. You can't get scammed on it. It is what it is. It is money, and it's gold. The only thing is you pay like a $80, $90 premium. Okay, fine. But that's the way it is at every store. Or you go to SD Bullion online and it says, oh, it's 2,100. eBay, 2,100. Go to the guy, it's 2,080. Okay, he's got a good price. I know it's real gold. I'm not worried about it. But I'm not going to buy it from some Chinese guy for $1,100 when everybody else is selling it for $2,000. And oh, I'm getting a deal. I guarantee you it's a scam 1,000 times out of 1,000. Just be careful. A lot of people are trying to scam. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, you can get rich quick. As soon as you hear that, the back of your hair should stand up and you should run, not walk to the exits. So those are some Ponzi schemes and scams. There's this de-dollarization going on. The de-dollarization is basically countries getting out of the dollars. Nobody wants U.S. dollars because it's a scam. I'm a Swiss franc and I want to buy euro. Well, to do that, I got to buy dollars. So I sell 100 Swiss francs, I get $100, and then with the $100, I buy euros. What do I need the dollar for? So what Putin and BRICS are going to do is get rid of the dollar and have it on a gold-backed dollar. So now I sell my Swiss francs for gold-backed dollars, and I use them to buy the euro. Now, if you're in BRICS, you should be able to just take BRICS money and use that, and the BRICS money will be gold-backed. That's 100% for sure, and it's happening by the third quarter of this year. So the U.S. is gone. They've fucked up their money. It's worthless, right? Don't fall for that. Get out of stocks. It's going to crash. Why? Because when people in all, there's 130 trillion US dollars outside of the US, owned by sheiks and in the Middle East and Asia and Africa, Europe. And once so they're in the US dollar for safe haven. But if you understand inflation from an Austrian economic standpoint, which nobody does but you guys, because they don't teach it anymore. I learned it in 95, and I went back to my college. They teach Keynesians now. So very hard to find where you can take Austrian economics. If you did, you'd know gold. You know the dollar is bullshit. It's printed to zero. And everyone that's ever existed in the history of the world has gone to zero because they're corrupt. They just print and they go, oh, this is great, because they don't understand. It's like the Ponzi schemes. They don't understand if they keep printing, it goes to zero. They think, oh, this is great. I'll just keep printing the dollars. Not a problem, which you can't do. So this is what happens. And that's what you've got to understand. So the dollar, any dollar not backed by gold, goes to zero 100% of the time. So if you understand that, you go, oh, what's my out? And the only out you have is gold and silver, because they can't print it. And I know some guys will say, well, there's no third party, whatever. They can't. The bottom line is they can't print gold and silver, only what they have. It's very limited, and everybody loves it. Who doesn't love gold? Who understands it? I mean, there's some people that just don't understand gold, like 5-year-olds, but any adult would know. And everybody I talk to, they're all hesitant to get into gold because, oh, I'm in oil stocks. And I just go, yeah, so what's that going to do for you? So once these foreigners, the $130 trillion of US dollars that are outside the US come back in, that's $130 trillion coming in. That's inflation. The dollar will certainly be worth nothing then, but it's already worth nothing now. And then you've got that A, and then what are they going to sell? Well, what do they own? Houses, stock market, bonds, real estate trust, buildings, everything that they own, it because it's in U.S. dollars. So they own Microsoft. They own 100,000 shares in Microsoft. Well, I got to get out of dollars, so I'm going to sell my Microsoft to get my dollars back into South African, Cougar rands. So they're going to sell because it's in U.S. dollars. So all the stocks go to zero. That's why the stock market's crashing. And then the houses are going to crash because they got money in houses. So they got to get out of U.S. dollars. So any asset they have in U.S. dollars, they're selling. Houses, cars. Well, cars maybe they take with. They can ship them, but houses you can't. The stock market will crash. The bond market's already crashing. The banks will crash because let's say they have their money in the bank. They want to be safe. They got $10 million, like Saudi Arabia did with Credit Suisse. They had, $10 billion of the king's money in Credit Suisse. So he pulled it out. Well, they couldn't handle that. They don't have his money sitting there, right? So that's why that bank crashed. But that's what's going to happen here. Chase and all these banks will crash. Excuse me. So that's what's coming that nobody understands. You don't see that. You don't. Why would the stock market crash? Because the stock market is bullshit. It's being kept up because they keep printing money and buying stocks with the money. That's why there's these 7 stocks that are high. It's all being printed and put into those 7 stocks. And then you go, wow, the stock market's at 37,000. The economy must be good. Bullshit. You're printing money and putting it into those stocks. It's not normal supply demand. The companies are all going to go out because as people pull their stocks out, but their sales are going to drop because of the depression that we're going through pretty fucking soon. We are in a recession, but nobody will say it. So if they say the sky's green, they want you to believe it. Well, no, it's blue. No, it's really green now. We're calling this color green, and you're supposed to believe it. So the stock market is not anywhere close to reality. The inflation is not 3%, it's 20%. The dollar's collapsed, and gold is 20,000 an ounce, not 2,000. Everything they do to make the government look good and to make the dollar look good. So if they really admitted gold was 20,000 an ounce, nobody would be in the dollar, and everybody, so the dollar would be worthless. The government would be shut down. And people in dollars, so your Warren Buffet's with $2 billion, it's worthless. So he's going to go cry in the corner there because he's too stupid to understand what he's doing. Everybody calls him a great investor. He's clueless. Why would you be in money at all? Oh, because of the deflation. So when people don't have money and everybody's going to sell, it'll lower the price. So the thought is everybody sells their house because they need money. Yeah, but the money's worthless. Well, you're going to buy houses cheap. Oh, okay. Why don't you use gold? Why don't you take $2 billion and buy gold with it at these ridiculously low prices? So when I'm in the coin store, I go to the guy and I go, hey, Luke. Bobby's asking about you. He says, you seen Luke? I said, I haven't seen him in a while. So this is my economics show. So what I'm doing is I did football earlier. So I'm kind of doing football for like an hour and then economics for an hour because you don't like football, let's say. So you don't want to hear that, but you want to hear this. And then Bobby just wants the football. So he's in for the football, although I know Bobby likes economics. But I got a lot of customers who just want to hear the football. And then when I go to economics, they go off. So this way, and if you want to find where I'm talking about Ponzi schemes and gold and everything else, you can pop right into that video. I'm glad you like it, Luke. Yeah, I thought about it. And I see all these on YouTube where the guy says the dollar collapsing or this collapsing or the housing market. And so I'm just focusing on that. And you can see by the title. So the Russians are going to have a gold-backed currency by the second quarter, 2024. The minimum gold price will be $3,000 by between the second and third quarter, but probably earlier than that. And BRICS will come out with gold-backed currency the third quarter. So this is what I'm hearing from Mark McGuire. So have faith. And again, it's priced in dollars, which is gone. This is not worth anything. This is worth zero. So we know that, but it's when all the money comes back into the U.S. from all the foreign investors who have $130 trillion tied up in U.S. assets because they don't trust their own governments. And once they find out the dollar is worthless, the stock market crashes, the housing market crashes, the real estate trusts crash, Wall Street crashes, and we'll be there going, yeah, but we're in gold, so we're fine. And then there was this IRA scam where they were trying to sell the gold coins in the IRA for 6,000 an ounce instead of 2,000 an ounce. And I said, that's not a scam. That's just stupid people. If you did your homework and you knew gold was maybe, let's say, 2,100 an ounce, why would you pay 6,000? So you didn't do your homework and you didn't know 6,000 was a high price. That's your fault. That's not them. I could go on eBay and put up 20,000 for my gold coin. If somebody wanted to buy it from me, then fine. I'm not scamming him. He's getting the gold coin. I thought I wanted to get the real price of 20,000. I mean, that to me is the people have to know what they're doing. It goes both ways. Do your research and know, oh, it's 2,100. Can't wait to see here a gold-backed currency. Well, it's coming real soon. The Russians are coming out with it. Putin, a lot of it's to do with them wanting gold for oil. Saudi and Russia are tired of getting whatever dollars for their oil. They want to get gold. So the gold price, they're going to break, according to what I just watched, COMEX should go away by the second quarter of the year. COMEX should go from a paper market to a physical market, which is what we've been waiting for. And what I keep talking about, 20,000 an ounce is the physical price, but there is no physical market. It's just this crazy paper market that everybody uses to price the gold. Well, that's going away because of the Basel III, which says you got to do your derivative. You got to have the physical behind it. Well, the Russians and Chinese keep buying the physical when these idiots are selling them at 2,000 an ounce. They're buying them. Okay, fine, give me them. And they have to give it to them. Then there's the Chinese and the Indians are buying silver like it's water. And right now, and I heard this, they don't even use the fucking paper money. So when they do silver deals, they're not even looking at the $25 an ounce. They're making their own deals up. So they're going, the guy needs electric batteries for Tesla. And he says, I want 20,000 ounces of silver. And the silver guy goes, okay, we'll do it at $20 an ounce. They're not even looking at the COMEX. I mean, it's ridiculous. What the fuck are they doing? So these idiots are giving away their silver at $20, $25 an ounce when they could be doing it at 1,000 an ounce. Really stupid people that we're dealing with here, Luke. Can't believe how low all the manipulators have spanked the price. Again, nobody in their right sense wants to invest in gold and silver. Well, that's why they're doing it. As I said earlier, the Ponzi scheme is this. So the Ponzi scheme in the U.S. is to get everybody in the dollar. And so it's all manipulated by the banks in Wall Street. If you notice Wall Street, every investment's $1. It's a real estate trust, it's a stock, it's a bond. Put your money in the bank and get 5% on a CD or a money market or an annuity. And that's what all the investors and all the stock brokers or financial advisors put you in. That's why they never put you on in gold. There's no commission. So they give the seller, the broker, commission to put them in $1 thing. And there's no commission in gold. So these guys are idiots. They don't know that really you don't want to be in this, but they're conned into selling these items because that's where their commission is. And they're working to make the commission sales. And that's why they don't tell you about gold. But gold's just purely manipulated to keep you into these dollar instruments. So I can't wait for Wall Street and the banks to all start collapsing. And we're sitting there in our gold going, yeah, that's too bad. Like I say, we see the iceberg hit, and we're getting off the boat now. We're not waiting till the end. And that's what a lot of people do. They wait till the end, and then they get off the boat when the water is up to their necks, and they're running to the lifeboat. Oh shit, we better get off. We hit an iceberg about 3 hours ago, and we didn't react to it. And that's not what we're doing. We are way ahead of the game, buying our gold and silver as quick as you can. If you go back a little bit, there was this big scam for all you Bitcoin players. So this woman, the crypto queen, is selling something called $1, and it's not real. She scammed $15 billion of the promise you'll get rich like in Bitcoin. The only problem is there was no such thing as the $1, and the Russian mafia is looking for her. She's like hidden, and she escaped with $15 billion of promises you'll get rich like in Bitcoin. It's the new Bitcoin, and it's called OneCoin. So if you don't know anybody in OneCoin or you've heard of it, you're not getting paid because she's vanished. She's disappeared, probably got a new face or something. The mafia's after her. So this is why you got to be careful of digital currencies. Bitcoin's going to be the same way. All of a sudden, it's going to be worthless. People that live in this fantasy world that, oh, I don't know what it is. I can't hold it. It's digital. Everybody wants to go digital because there's a blockchain. Good luck. I'm sure there was a blockchain to this, even though it wasn't real and she never had a OneCoin. So keep that in mind. So she's called the crypto cream.
He's fascinated by the hype.
Dass OneCoin so groß geworden ist.
The way that OneCoin grew so big that it built up such momentum was because of how they sold it, which was via multi-level marketing. It was a direct sale model where the customer sold the product after buying it themselves.
In dem Fall OneCoin.
And build a loyal customer base to boot.
It's the get rich quick scheme. And you've got to, when you hear that, you got to run and run fast. There is no get rich quick scheme. The closest we have is gold, where we're going to get rich. Not quick. We got to wait for it, but we will be rich because when the price, there's going to be a physical price. This we learned from Mark McGuire. There's going to be a gold revaluation in Russia. Paper gold's going to blow up, and COMEX will blow up very soon because they can't support it. It's not real, and they won't have any gold left. And all the central banks keep buying it, so you know there's demand. It's not going to zero. So it's going to happen very soon, Luke. By the second quarter, we should see about 3,000 an ounce. And by the third quarter, we'll see a BRICS and a ruble gold-backed currency, and that'll be it. And then the dollar's gone, and the price is way up there. And that's so we are way ahead of the game. And I know it's tough being patient, but I'd rather be patient than be in OneCoin because I'm going to make all this money. And then, by the way, it's not real and I've been scammed. Well, don't be sick of it. If you own the gold and you own your silver, you're fine. You're ahead of the game. I mean, sometimes you got to look at it. You play the game, but you got there early versus you don't want to get there late. Okay, you get into gold late, it's 10,000 an ounce. What are you going to do? How many can you buy? I mean, you know, at 2,000, you can buy 100, let's say, right? 200,000. But if it's at 10,000, you can only buy 20 of them. So you're better off in this game to be early than to be late. There is no late. You're fucked if you're late because you won't be able to afford it. Early, you're okay. You sit there and you watch it, you play with them, and you go, hey, look at, you know, your girlfriend comes over, your wife, hey, let's play with the gold. The kids, you give them silver for the Christmas and their birthdays, and they're all excited. They're going, what is it? Even my girlfriend Darius or Jenna's like, well, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not, it's still 25 an ounce for the silver. So you send her the video of Mark McGuire going, no, it's about to move because the U.S. controls it. They can't people just can't come in and move it. They will get killed. So you got to let the U.S. shit in their own pants, which they're doing. And then, oh, you know what? The U.S. destroyed their money, but, we have gold. So we could come out with gold-backed currency and then let it go through the roof. And that's really what it is that's happening. But don't be sick of it. Just think of you're on the Titanic and the boat, and we hit the iceberg. And me and you and Bobby, we walked to the lifeboat. And you're upset that we're there 2 hours early. Shit, we're early. I'm sick of being early. You're on the boat. Right? And then as the boat sinks, you're going to say, it's probably a good idea we got here early before the crowd. And that's what you've done with gold and silver. You're here early. The boat's sinking. We know the boat's sinking. They're printing the money to death. This is worth like a cent. This is worth nothing. You're in the lifeboat and you're early, and you're glad you're early because you're in the lifeboat. You're able to buy the gold and silver at low prices, and they still had it. Once this mess starts to take form and people realize that the dollar's worthless, not only are you not going to be able to find gold and silver, it'll be 10,000 an ounce, and silver will be 1,000 an ounce, and you'll be going, yeah, I guess I'm pretty glad I bought it early. So yes, you got to be patient with it, but that's okay. It's the right move. You're in the perfect situation. You could be in one coin. You could be in stocks as the market's about to crash. And you got $130 trillion from overseas people in the U.S. assets that are about to pull all their money and watch the assets go. So you could be in the stock market, and then when that crashes, then what would you have done? So you've got to understand what's going to happen, and you've got to understand you're just early, and it's a hell of a lot better to be early than it is to be late to this party. You don't want to be late to this party and spend 10,000 an ounce on gold. And that's your only choice. You can't hold dollars anymore, right? These are gone. And they're all over the world. And when everybody realizes they've been Ponzi'd, they've been made off, they're all going to jump into gold because there's no other option. I had this conversation with the girl at the pool, and she says, oh, the government, they're smart. And I go, they're not. You don't understand. There is only one out. The dollar's collapsed. The only out is gold. There is no other out. There's no other play here. They can't go into the stock market. They can't go into the bond market. All of Wall Street will get crushed. All the banks will get crushed. There is no out but gold because you can't print gold. And if you understand that basic concept, that you're printing this to zero and gold is gold, and gold can't be printed, and it's not close to the real value, now you've got it. It can't be printed. It's going to go up. The demand's going to be huge. Just wait for the boat to sink. And don't worry, don't be sick of it, Lou. You'll be fine. You'll be very happy by the second or third quarter this year. So you don't have much more to wait. So you should be fine. Anyway, so this lady scammed billions of dollars and disappeared. So again, be careful. So if you know anybody in OneCoin, it doesn't exist. You've been made off. So de-dollarization is getting out of U.S. dollars. So all these countries, Argentina wants to sell to Brazil. You got to take their Argentina, buy dollars, and then take the dollars and buy Brazil, the real. And everybody's sick of it because the U.S. makes all this money out of this exchange. So that's why, Russia and Putin are selling it as get out of the dollar and you'll buy this gold-backed currency that you'll use to trade your Argentinian dollar for the Brazilian dollar. So instead of using US dollar, you'll use this gold-backed bricks. Well, everybody likes that. Everybody hates the US. And I know why, because you're fucking forcing everybody to do everything. Nobody wants to be forced to do it. And it's the stupidest thing. Why can't I just take my Argentinian dollar and buy Brazil dollars? Why do I need to buy US to buy that? Why do I need the middleman? And that's really the US killing themselves. So keep in mind our dollar, I don't know if it'll last 2024, because if the gold values come out, we're heading to Russia to buy the BRICS gold-backed currency, or we just keep buying more and more gold. But that's where we're headed. So, well, I think I'll show Mark McGuire's stuff. Well, I can show you a quick piece of Mark McGuire because you're on, Luke, so I can. Egon was on today, but it really was nothing new. He was again going how forget Bitcoin, buy that.
I want to show you a little known trick for finding low price stocks on the verge of moving higher. On this Friday.
So let's go to 44. So you'll like this one, Luke.
Took a whole new turn, opening up a highly liquid non-dollar mechanism for the BRICS SCO, ultimately the Eurasia Economic Union, to facilitate trade outside of the unipolar legacy system, benchmarking commodities, energy, and oil trade to a real physical supply-demand gold gram price. Market disruptions will be far-reaching, and as an example, currently an ounce of gold buys 26 barrels of oil. However, as oil is de-dollarized, and an ounce of gold will easily buy double that. Conversely, in dollar terms, this will be massively inflationary for Western price dollar-denominated oil. So really, to sum it up, credible estimates put gold in dollar terms priced at around $3,000, which is really the bottom of the 2024 range. And given that gold is not rising in price, it is that a debasement of the dollar as benchmarked against the 5,000-year-old gold that raises the one single question: how much physical gold do you own?
Not enough. So there you go, Luke. That should make you happy. So you're looking at bottom 3,000. My point is, there's a lot of people. So when I go to the coin store, they know me. They know I'm Mr. Economics. So they'll go to me. How come when the gold price goes down, nobody buys, but when the gold price goes up, everybody buys? And I go, because they're all idiots. They don't understand that the price is price fixed by JP Morgan's derivatives. So when they lower the price, nobody's selling the gold. It's all there. And when the price goes up, people are afraid they're going to miss it. So what do you think is going to happen when it hits 3,000? People are going to freak out, and they're all going to jump on and buy it, and it's going to move to 4,000 or 5,000. They won't be able to do anything about it because now it'll be a physical COMEX physical price, not the paper bullshit. And that's when we have our party, because it'll go and go and go because people think they're going to miss it. And they don't want to miss it. And they know the dollar is going to be worthless, but they don't buy gold because they don't think gold goes anywhere. They don't understand it's price fixed. That's the key to gold. It's price fixed. It's not the real price of it. So now if it goes to 3 and then everybody kicks it up to 5, then it goes to 10. Oh, by the way, here comes silver. Silver's coming around the turn at $25. No, it's 100. No, it's 500. Oh, by the way, it's 1,000. Once that moves, it moves. Oh, gold's too expensive. I can't afford 10,000 an ounce. I'll buy silver. It's sitting there at 500 an ounce. and they kick it up because they're very limited in supply, gold and silver. There's not a lot of it, especially like Bitcoin, 21 million. You're talking 250,000 tons. And what's the tonnage of silver? 550,000 tons. That's not a lot with a billion people and all this money floating around. They will want it. And like you're buying boxes of it. I got 600 ounces of it. It's crazy. And it's still $25 is fantasy. There's no way silver's $25 an ounce. But they're not even using COMEX for it. They're just, the mine's making trades with Tesla. They kind of see the $25, which is a fantasy price. And Tesla says, let me buy 20,000 ounces for the $20. And they go, oh, that sounds fair. But because they're geologists, they're not finance. They need somebody like me there. I'd be going, you're charging him 1,000 an ounce, or there's no real, otherwise just keep it because you're not gonna need it. Just wait for it. As oil goes, so does the economy. What does that mean? As oil goes up, down, what? They're controlling oil pretty good now, I think. I just filled up at 260 something a gallon. It was 360 not too long ago. So I don't understand that, Luke. As oil goes, so does the economy. You need oil in the economy. As oil goes higher, the economy goes higher. I'm not following. The economy tightens because the costs go up, but the economy's already blown up from these higher interest rates for food and buying a car and buying a house. So in that sense, anything that raises prices slows the economy. So the economy is going pretty slow right now. Yeah, I get what you're saying. The prices are going up, but they can't. Oil can only be. Why don't they charge $100 a gallon for oil now? Because they can't. So again, it all comes down to the market. What will the market bear? If you make oil $10 a gallon, and I don't know why they don't, a lot of people wouldn't buy it. It's too expensive. So it's like the rib dinner for, it's $26 an ounce. If he wants to sell it for 45 because his costs went up, he'll be out of business because I'm not going to spend more than 26. I'll order the chicken instead. That's what controls the pricing. So they can't just raise the oil without problems, right? People will not buy it, or they won't. They'll just drive back and forth to work, or they'll get motorcycles, or they'll use Uber and not drive at all. So yes and no. Again, everything is the market. You can only charge what people will pay you. So I can only, let me sell this for $1,000 a bottle. Oh, nobody will pay for it. So I got to sell it for what the buyer will give me. And that's with oil. You can only sell it for what the buyer will give you. You can't just sell. There's no shortage of oil. If anything, there's plenty of oil. And with all these electric cars, are you even using oil? I don't know. Do you fill up the electric car with gas? Probably not. You just charge it and off you go. So I think the oil is going down because of these electric people that are using it. So anyway, there's not a lot of electric cars. Nobody wants it. There's no demand for it. But I get your point, but it's as costs go up, which is mostly the inflation of the interest rates going up. Again, inflation is not costs going up. Inflation is the money supply being inflated, making the value of the dollar worth less. So it takes more dollars to buy oil, Coca-Cola, and Frito-Lay. So they can't raise the oil price and have the economy stop, then they'd have to lower the price of oil. So it's what you can get for. It's where will the buyers be? So there's always the market. So if oil's here at 260, you've got market. But if you raise it to $10, Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody can afford it. So they'll buy far less of it. They buy a few gallons. They don't drive to the club. They don't drive to the golf course. They don't drive anywhere because the oil is too expensive. So that's really what happens. It's the money that gets fucked over. So I can't buy oil because I don't have any money because it's all worthless. So only us with gold can afford the oil that we can get in our car and go drive and play golf and everything. Consumer spending will tighten as oil goes higher. Economy will crash slower. I get your argument, but I don't agree that they'll just buy less oil or they'll find ways around it. Like I said, they'll buy motorcycles or bicycles. You go to Amsterdam, everybody's in a bicycle. So you got to be careful there. It's really oil can only go up if somebody will buy it. They can't. The way a business works is you're trying to sell your inventory, right? So I got so many barrels of oil that I pulled out of the ground and I got to sell it at X. And the question is, can you? And if you raise the price from $30 a barrel to $50 a barrel, can you sell it? So you're just thinking, oh, they'll sell it at any price. And I'm saying they won't. There's always the stipulation of they can only sell it for what they can get it for. There's always the market. Thank God for the free market. In communist world, in Russia, then you want oil, this is what it's going to cost you. There's no competition. It's not free market. But here it's free market. So somebody will come out with cheaper oil because nobody can afford it. So I get when costs go up. We're in a recession right now because of the high cost, because of the inflating of the money supply, making the dollar worth less and less, and it takes more dollars to buy the goods. You go to the grocery store, $100 in your cart now is 10 items. I mean, everything's $2 or $3, right? I got pita bread, $2.70. I get, they just raised the price on my peppers from $1.59 to $1.89. Like, Jesus Christ. Now, for me, it doesn't matter. It's 30 cents, but still, that's a big percentage increase. But on my veggies, I don't notice well, but my dark chocolate went from $2.90 to $3.40. So there's a lot of increase. Everything's about $3. I don't know, buy butter, it's $3 something. Buy eggs, it's $3 something. Buy my half and half, it's $3 something. Everything's a $3 item. But when I get gas, it's cheaper. It's $2.60, $2.70 a gallon. So I fill up for a lot less than I was. I don't know how that is happening, but I'm not going to question it. So all I know is that's what we need to know. So, I agree with you. Economy will crash lower. The paper economy is going to go away. So if the economy is in paper, this goes to zero, the economy goes to zero because there won't be anything of value. How are you going to buy anything if this is worthless? That's where we're headed, Luke. That's really what you're trying to say, but you're not saying it is if the dollar goes out, there goes the economy until we need a new medium of exchange, and it's going to be a gold-backed dollar, and that's where BRICS is going to come in. This will be a gold instead of silver, and this will be worth $5 of gold, and that'll be the new economy, will be in gold, and then it won't matter what the oil price is. It'll never go up. You'll never have interest rates because you don't need it with gold, and people with gold will be very happy, and people without gold are going to be fucked, as we know. That's why when you ask the question, how much should I have? The answer is as much as you can get. There's no limit. Buy as much as you can get because you're going to have to give it to somebody in your family or a cousin, or in my case, my girlfriends. I'm going to have to give them some gold. That's going to save their lives, not the dollar. So that's what you got to realize. The gold will save you. It'll save the economy, but nobody, that's why we can't live here, because I'll be in Switzerland or somebody with the gold back, because it's nobody, everybody's going to get fucked because these people here think they got 300-400 grand in their savings. Oh, I'm going to retire on that. Oh, really? Do you know how much you really have? You really have zero in your bank account. Now, you do have this one-time electorate of taking that money out of your bank account while gold is still $2,000 an ounce. You have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get rich quick, really get rich, changing this into gold. If you can turn this into gold, you can save yourself. Get your 300 grand out, put it into gold, and then just kick back, wait about 6 months, and you'll be buying an island. But do people going to listen? No. People think they know everything. They know, oh, the 300 grand in my account will save me until it's worthless. You can't keep printing this. The more you print, the less it's worth. And as we talked, it's going to zero, not 10. It's going to zero. And then here's Putin to put the dagger in by saying, I'm going to come out with a gold-backed ruble. And you know what? And I run bricks. I'm going to come out with a gold-backed bricks. Bye-bye. You're done. We don't need you. You've, suppressed us. So fuck you. I mean, if anybody's got it, is Putin to the U.S. And all his gold will be worth a fortune. So he don't need to make a sale. He's got oil and diamonds and stuff, so he'll be fine. I can't see it going to zero. Well, you better look, because that's where it's going. But definitely haircut maybe 20% first, then 50, then new gold-backed currency. No, it's worth 1 cent now. It's already down 99%. So I don't know where you're seeing 20% and 50%. It's not worth anything. This is worth zero. It says 5 on it, but what are you going to buy with it, right? You're in Europe, you're in Barcelona. What are you going to buy? A cup of coffee, a cup of water with €5? You're not buying a hamburger or a steak or anything. So there is no value with the dollar. You just don't want to, most people don't want to realize that, or don't want to admit that it's really worthless, but it's zero. Just assume it's zero and get the fuck out of it. Keep what you need to pay the bills, because they're still got to accept it. But that has no value, and gold does. And you're just lucky that gold's waiting for you. We're smart enough to understand the gold price of 2,000 isn't real. The silver price of 25 isn't real, and the dollar is worthless. So if you understand those three concepts, get the fuck out of the dollar, you buy the gold and silver, and wait for the gold and silver to go up. JP Morgan can only keep the damn price fixing in a little bit longer. They have to have the physical to trade it, right? That's the Basel III thing. They don't have much. I'm just showed you Mark McGuire. You got second quarter BRICS, Russia gold back by the third quarter. BRICS by the end of the third quarter, dollar out. Who wants the dollar when you can have gold? So you have to get out of the dollar because it's basically worthless. And then you get into gold because you know it's way, way undervalued. So it's as simple as that. But yes, your concepts are correct as far as things cost more, you slow the economy. But things have been costing more for 2 years. The economy is in a deep recession, but they don't want to say it because they got to get elected. So they say everything's rosy and peaches. And, look at the stock market. It's 37,000. It ain't 37. The only stock, there's 2 stocks in it that are keeping it up, like Apple and Microsoft. But all the other stocks are getting their ass kicked. So it's just the price fixed ones where they're printing money and dumping it into Microsoft or Tesla. Why is Tesla there? Who the fuck's buying an electric car at 10% interest? Yeah. Oh, I got $100,000 to buy an electric car that I don't want, that I got to keep charging. It's fucking it was 15 below out all weekend. You're going to sit there and charge your car? And is it going to work? Is it going to be too cold for the car to turn on? And will it lose power and you're in the car freezing and you can't get out because it's electric? Good luck with that. Happy to hear it, Professor. Can't wait for the break and the manipulation. Do you think it'll break overnight? Yeah, soon. I think it'll, like I said, it'll go to 3,000. I think once it breaks, it'll run, because once people see it. So in other words, let's say they come out with a price of 2,500. Well, that's going to attract a lot of people to buy it, because now they realize they've been had. See, once you realize you've been fucked over, you get, so they're going to start buying it because they're going to realize, oh, here it goes, I better buy it. And I think that'll push the price up. So I think initially it's like 2,500, 3,000. And he said 3,000 is the bottom. And then I can see it 5 and 6. But once we get COMEX out of there and keep it a real physical market, not manipulated, then it goes to 10. And it doesn't come back down. It just keeps going and going, because all these other people all over the world keep buying it, right? So you're in Switzerland. Oh, I'm buying gold. And it's gold. It's not U.S. gold. It's not Swiss gold. Gold is, let's say, 2,500 an ounce. It's gold. It's not a country's gold. It's gold. So that's 2,500 an ounce. So the guy in Germany is buying it, and the guy in Russia is buying it, and the guy in China is buying it, in Japan. So you got the whole world as buyers. Who the fuck's selling it? Nobody's selling it, so it should keep the price going. It should be a frenzy like the Titanic when people are looking for the lifeboat. We're already in the lifeboat, is what I keep trying to explain, is we're in the lifeboat already. We got our gold and silver. We try to buy some more. We got to balance it between, I have cash, but I don't want to run out and have to sell my gold, so I'm keeping my cash. And then as I see it, I can maybe run and buy a few more ounces of it. But it's a no-brainer. But I don't know. I got 56 ounces. I don't see selling 56 ounces. I'll sell one for 50,000. All right, yeah, that's good. I'll buy a house with 2. Oh, okay. Well, so how am I going to go through 56? Although it's good to have it and give to, the girls and all that, but I don't see it'll be worth so much. It's how much you're going to buy the house with gold, Luke. You don't care about the money, and there won't be money anyway. The money will be worthless until they come out with gold-backed currency. But how much gold does the U.S. have to do that? I assume J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, or the bullion banks, have gold. So maybe they're the ones who will come out with a gold-backed currency, but the Federal Reserve doesn't have any gold. How the fuck do you come out with gold-backed currency without gold? You can't, because the idea is you have to have it in reserve. So you if you come out with $50 million, you got to have $50 million of gold, because if I want to go to the bank and say, give me $10 worth of gold, they got to have it. They can't say we don't have it. Otherwise, then the money would be worthless. Well, I want to get the gold for it. Sorry, we don't have it. Well, wait a minute. Then the money isn't worth $10 of gold. So it has to have the gold, and I don't know if they have it. I do know that the bullion banks, J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, I assume have gold. But it's, again, the bank for this gold-backed currency. But I don't think the Bidens and all the other idiots in government have a fucking clue. They just think, well, we'll just keep printing money. We'll print another billion. Nothing will happen because we can just keep printing. That's the real criminal activity, is they're printing the money thinking nothing's happening. Oh, no, the value of the dollar is not going, well, we got to get these prices down. I mean, that's how stupid they are. We're going to raise the interest rate to get the prices down. What does one thing have to do with the other? Well, they'll spend less, as you're saying. It'll cost more in interest, so they'll buy more, and then they'll have to lower their prices. That's my concept. If you make the price too much and you can't sell it, you got to lower your price, like the rib guy. So, but that's not inflation, and that's not deflation. It's nothing to do with inflation, because if you printed $20 trillion. How have you reduced the 20 trillion? You haven't. You're talking about fucking prices. What does that have to do with I inflated the money supply by $20 trillion. What the fuck does that have to do with prices? Nothing. It takes more money to buy something, but that's still, if the market says, I don't want to buy it, and the price goes down, that's got nothing to do with inflation. That's just fantasy talk. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It has nothing to do with it. Does the Shanghai Gold Exchange have anything to do with the COMEX LBA breaking? No, I think that because of Basel III, when COMEX and LBMA do their bullshit, they need physical gold. So they're gonna, it's 20,000, it's 2050 today, let's say. Well, they need the gold to back the derivative. Well, when they run out of gold, they can't do the derivative anymore. And when Russia comes out with the gold-backed bricks, and China comes out with the gold-backed, well, Russia will come out with the ruble, China will come out with the yuan, they'll both come out with the bricks. They'll want a higher gold price, right? The 2000 is not going to work. There's too many people in all the world who are on bricks. We need like a $15,000 price for gold. That's what'll break COMEX, because COMEX will sit there going, well, we can't sell it for $2 if they're at 15. And you're anxious. Imagine Russia. Well, we got 32,000 tons of gold. We'd sure like it to go up in price from 2,000. Wouldn't we? Wouldn't you? So they're going to want it to be much higher, which will break COMEX anyway. Shanghai Gold, is that supposed to be the real physical price? Because it's not, but that may be. I don't know how they're going to really get a real physical price. Like eBay, let's say this card's $1,000 on eBay. I have a price for it. But I don't know how they're going to do that with the Shanghai Gold or whoever's going to track the gold. How are they going to know I went to the store and bought 5 ounces? Or you went to the store and bought 5 ounces? You bought another 100 ounces of silver. How does anybody going to know that? That's where I'm curious about it. Or does it even matter that I bought 2 ounces of gold? It's when the bank buys 100 tons of it that maybe moves the needle. I don't know, but we're really in for a complex pricing issue. How do we price at the grocery store? I assume a silver dime and a silver quarter is going to buy you eggs and milk and pop. That'll just be priced in a silver dime, a silver nickel, a silver quarter, a silver $50, a silver dollar. It's the only thing. That's how the grocery store is going to work. And it's going to be tremendously hard to figure out what the cost is. So I'm Coca-Cola. What's my cost? I don't know. And then how do I sell it? I mean, I got to cover my cost, but I don't know what my cost is. So that's what's going to happen is it'll be a silver quarter for a Coca-Cola or something, or a silver nickel. That's what'll happen. It's like Rome, the Roman Empire. They just had coins, right? It was gold and silver. And that's how the Appian Way. Now it's in Vegas, but that's where it came from. So that's how they bought it. And here's 2 little silver coins, and give me my baseball cap or whatever they were buying. So that's what happens. But we're in the driver's seat. We are in the lifeboat, and we got our feet kicked up, going, when's that damn boat gonna sink already? And all the people that are going to get killed on the boat are all the people going to get killed in the economy. And it's going to be a bloodbath. And that's why we got to be careful where we live, because I don't think we want to live here. I think we want to go to a nice quiet city in Europe somewhere. Europe, I heard, was trying to get to a gold-backed euro. That would be nice. Then it would be a lot less crime because people will have money. So the key is going to be, you're going to work. How much are they going to pay you in gold and silver? And then your rent goes to gold and silver, and your credit cards are now zero because there's no more money. How are they going to do that? Or they just say, okay, it's at zero, let's start again. I know a lot of people are using their credit card to buy things. So that's really skewing everything. So they don't have any money. They're going to the grocery store. They're going on trips. They're going here and there, and they're using their credit card. And then they're maxing it out and getting another one and another one. And it's crazy. And then you've got the mortgages and you got the car payments. People can't afford the car. And then the school tuition shit. I'll excuse these people. Like, what? You can't excuse. You're not in the position to excuse people. Only the banks can do that. You're not a fucking banker. So it's going to be tough to reprice everything, but that's where we're headed. We're headed to the dollar's gone. So don't think it's 10% and 5% and 2% and a quarter percent. It's gone already. It's worthless. Don't be fooled. Your money in the bank is worthless. Understand that. Now, it's okay to pay for bills. I pay for my rent with the money I get in from Social Security. Fine. Okay. But there will be a time that the money's gone. And on that day, I run to the gold store and buy everything I have left, buys me gold and silver. And I got to get there. I got to be sharp because I want to get there while he still has some at 2,000 an ounce and buy up whatever I can. A guy I worked with, I discussed it with him and taught him, and then he went and bought $100,000. He gets a check for $100,000 and bought gold with it. So he bought about 55 ounces, and it was shocking. It was a guy who worked in the back room. I couldn't believe he had $100,000. I mean, because this is how much can he make? And he has $100,000, and I'm like, okay, let's go to the store, and I introduced him to the owner, and he gave him the check, and he had to order the gold, and then a little bit later, a week later, he had the gold. Then I think he did it with silver too. I said, by the way, you probably want to buy silver also. So I think he did it with like 50,000. Where's this guy? This guy's nothing. Where's he getting all this money from? So it was like I was kind of surprised, but I felt good for him. I says, yeah, good for you. You'll be the man. Well, I mean, the manipulation is good for us now. If we have money to buy it, then it's still cheap. It's 2,000 an ounce when we know it's 20,000 an ounce. So we can still buy gold cheap. That's what I'm saying. So you got 300,000 in the bank that you're going to retire on. You can buy 150 ounces of gold at 2,000 an ounce. It's waiting for you. So it is good from that standpoint. They're keeping the price down. So it's good for the buyers who have the money who haven't bought yet. For us, we bought, and now we're waiting for it to go up. And we just got to we know it's going to happen in the next 6 months. Just relax. Our friend Putin will come through for us. So anyway, we know it. It's a lot different, Luke, when we don't know it and we want to buy one coin or we want to buy Bitcoin or, we want to get involved in these scams because we don't know any better. We want to get rich quick. And that just, the spider senses go crazy in that situation. I always go, how am I going to make money in Bitcoin? It's going to go up. Well, what's going to make it go up? I don't know. Oh, so you're in and I don't know, and you want me to invest. Go fuck off. I have no idea. Poker, I understand. I get the better hand, I win, and I can see what I got as it's going. And craps, avoid the 7. And then blackjack, avoid going over. And roulette, black or red. Okay, I see how I can win the game. Poker, I can see how I'm going to win the game. Bitcoin, I can't see the game. Maybe it'll go up if we all turn left at the next stoplight. I mean, it's insane. There is no reason the price goes up or down. I doubt free market, and I doubt there's 21 million, and you got the Russian mobsters in it. Probably don't want to play with them. Don't want to piss them off. So anyway, that's the thing. I think that's it for that. Again, Russia will be coming out with gold-backed currency by the second quarter, and then BRICS by the third quarter will be coming out with it. It'll be on the agenda. They want to push it. They want They don't like the U.S. obviously, and so they understand. I talk a lot about competition. You got gold and you got the dollar. Who wins? Gold wins every time because you can't print this. There's 10 trillion or 20 trillion of these. There's another 130 trillion coming from overseas. But the biggest thing I want you to understand is it's never the price of Coke going up. It's the dollar has lost its value. So you need more dollars to buy the Coke, the ice cream, whatever the fuck you're buying. The price didn't go up. The dollar got printed to shit and it's worthless. So it takes more dollars to buy the gold, to buy the product. And everybody else, it's these Coca-Cola, they're raising price. Orioles, they're raising the price. Those meanies, they're the ones raising the price. No. Go to the guy printing the money. He's the villain. JP Morgan is the printer, and they are the villain. They are printing it to death. And I'm sure Biden goes and knocks on the door. Hey, give me a billion. Here. Okay, thank you. And he walks out, and I'm sure that happens all the time with these idiots. And they don't understand that if you keep doing that, you lose the value of the dollar. They don't get it, but they will. So they think because they have a lot of money in this that they have a lot of money, but wait till it turns. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. When this goes to zero and the Warren Buffets and the Gates and all these idiots, elitists, motherfuckers who think they have all this money and it turns to zero, turns to sand. That I can't wait. Warren Buffett, penniless. He didn't buy gold. He's an idiot. He had $2 billion. That's what I'm waiting for. They do have silver, from what I understand. Gates and I think this other guy has silver, but for the wrong reason. They think because silver is used for batteries and others, that it'll have the value, but gold won't because gold doesn't produce anything. But gold's indestructible, and it's the gold standard, and the gold will go to the moon because you can't print it, and it'll be real money. And silver has nothing to do with its use as we use it in electric batteries. That's not where silver gets the price. It's because it's real money. And these idiots, they want you to make them think they're real smart, and they're not. And somebody said, do they think it's controlled? Do they think there's a big plan, right? And they're saying this is not a plan. These idiots don't know what they're doing. There's no way it's a plan. They can't control it. They're not going to control the frenzy when it happens. So this is not a controlled thing. This is, maybe they try to control it, but as you see with digital currency and this woman stealing $15 billion in one coin that doesn't exist, and the Bankman thing where people lost billions of dollars. How quickly are you to get into a central bank digital currency? The guy, sorry, he lost all the money for you. Who's going to run in? I'm telling you, if I can't hold it in my hands, or at least put it in for my debit card, which I know is the money in my account, if I can't do that, there's no way I'm touching fucking digital money. And there's nothing they can do. They can't force you into it. And we'll have the gold. And if we have to get on the plane to Switzerland, we get on the plane to Switzerland. We go to Egon and say, here, I got 3 ounces of gold. Give me $200,000. Or open up a bank account in Switzerland or whatever. But again, you'll be buying a house with the gold. You go to somebody, here's how much you want, how much in gold? Oh, that's 2 ounces. Here you go. Here's 2 ounces. Give me the keys. I got the house. That's what you're going to be doing. You're not going to go to the bank and get $100,000 and then give him the $100,000. You're going to give him the gold, and he'll want the gold more than the money because the money is worthless anyway. So I'll go to Amsterdam and I'll need an ounce of silver for the girl. I joked with them before saying you should ask for gold and silver. Don't take the euros. They look at me and they're like, really? And I go, yeah, from now on, you want 2 ounces of silver, not 50 euros. Problem is, who has silver on them, and they have euros, so they probably take the euros. But I try to educate wherever I go. But I'll tell you, when I went with Jenna to Germany, we met her friend, the girl from Odessa. Man, she was spot on with gold. She knew. She knew about it. She asked me, how did I learn? Because she's trying to find out about it. And I says, well, I got a master's in it. I learned from an economist from SMU who was my teacher. That's how I learned. I didn't need notes. I just knew. I learned it. And she was fascinated by it. And she knows. She says, yeah, gold's all it. She said, they bombed my house, so my house didn't have insurance because there's no insurance in the Ukraine. So I couldn't insure my house. Well, she lost it. And I think she lost her car, but she says, I got the gold. So at least she knew that. But yeah, the Ukrainians, Russians, they understand gold very, very well. I showed Daria the gold. She gets it. She knows. She was really driving me nuts for the last 3 days. I haven't heard from her till this morning. And she said, I'm having a problem with WhatsApp, so I can't text you on WhatsApp. So I said, just email me. You've got my email. Email me. That'll always work as long as you have internet. It's more the app that's giving you problems. I said, okay. So she emailed me today, and I felt a whole lot better because you never know what's going on in Russia. So this way I can relax. But I don't like not hearing from her. And the irony is, I was thinking about, well, I won't text you for 3 days, and you see how you like it. And she said, I'm not receiving your text. So I don't know if she's received my text for the last couple of days. And she was panicking. Oh, my God, I missed your text. I love you. Wait, and it was like, so I did it by mistake because I don't want to hurt her, but it did work that way. So we'll got to see about her WhatsApp if it's working. Hopefully she's good. She says she's off tomorrow. She's going to go to the store and try to get the app working. So I said, try uninstalling and installing it. Usually works. Obviously your internet's working because I got the emails. So we will see what it is, but hopefully she'll have it back. But yeah, it's, man, when you can't talk to your girlfriend for 3 days, you freak out. I mean, oh my God. It's pretty scary thought. But anyway, all's good, so I'm happy and relaxed. Anyway, so I can't wait for Turkey in beginning of March. Hopefully she'll get her passport soon, and then we can venture there and spend some time together. We'll celebrate our birthdays. I'm March 7th. She's February 25th, so we'll have a nice birthday party there. Anyway, so yes, Russia and China are our allies. Finally, we like them, and they're the ones with the sanctions going to push for a gold-backed currency, which will make gold go way, way up. It'll blow up COMEX, which is what we're waiting. We're in at the right time. Had we done this in 1971, well, we would have spent 35 an ounce, and now it's worth 2,000 an ounce. We would have been happy, but really the 2,000 isn't close to reality. Add a zero to it, so 20,000 figure for gold. And I'm being very conservative, actually, because it's the flood effect. It's, oh my God, the boat's sinking, and there's frenzy of people getting off. Well, as the dollars start going in the whole world, the euro, the yuan, the yen, all these different countries start going, mostly the euro because that's Western Europe. When that goes, there's going to be a lineup at the gold stand because there's nowhere else to put your money. So as they see it happening, they'll pull their money out of the banks, which will collapse the banks, and then they'll take the money and there'll be this huge line to buy gold. And that's what's going to happen. And then it's going to shoot from, let's say, 10,000 to 20,000 in a week because everybody will be in buying it. That's really what I'm anticipating because people don't have a clue right now. People are just sitting there clueless of what's going on. Nobody's telling them because they don't want to look bad. The government doesn't want you to know there's a recession. They don't want you to know that the dollar's fucked up because they printed too much of it. They'll blame Putin for it. They don't want to tell you the banks are in trouble, and they don't want to tell you that inflation's really them printing the money. They'll blame the prices. It's not us. It's Coca-Cola raising their price. It's the food sector. It's this, it's that. Not us. We're still in the Ukraine because of the fucking defense contractors want to still be there, not the government. Who the fuck's running this place? It's not Biden. Doesn't know what day it is. He got offended that a coffee at a Starbucks was $6. Oh my God, I can't believe how expensive it is. Really? You're the one making it expensive. So don't buy a Starbucks. Go to McDonald's and get a one for $2, right? Or a novel idea, buy the instant coffee and make it at home. All right. So physical gold's coming. Paper gold blows up. COMEX blows up. De-dollarization. These countries get out of the dollar and into gold-backed currency. Russia is leading the way. Gold to be revalued. Physical silver will go through the moon. Paper gold are the derivatives. I talked about it yesterday. So you understand paper gold is like gold is priced in paper gold, but we buy physical gold. So it's two different animals. So the paper price is fixed because of derivatives. So how is it the real price? It can't be. So keep that in mind. When you go to the coin store and buy an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver for $25, I expect you to dance out of there going, I just bought $1,000 ounce of silver for $25. You know, wow. I mean, it's unbelievable. And these guys, I asked my guy, I go, why do you sell it so cheap? And he says, well, I got to pay rent. And this is the only thing that people buy are gold and silver right now. So I have to pay rent. So I got to sell the gold and the silver at these prices. And you don't have any other item in your store? Like, why aren't you putting all this in your safe? If this is me and somebody sells me gold, I only have to pay $2,000 an ounce, whatever spot is, and it's going in the safe. Oh, yeah, I put 100 ounces in today. I'm not selling it at these low prices. He asked me, he said, do you have any Eagles? I says, of course. He says, well, I'll give you $2,000 for it. I go, man, add a zero to it. At $20,000, I will sell it to you, not at $2,000. I'm not an idiot. You are. I'm not. So keep that in mind. This is one game we're winning, and we are going to win. We're not going to be blindsided by Madoff or the real estate trust fund people getting killed or, any of that. We're not going to get fucked. We're not going to get fucked by this one coin bitch who stole $16 billion. We are not going to get fucked at all. We are the ones. But what everything we're doing is 100% legal. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's real. We're taking our dollars and we're buying gold with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And like I said, I'm not selling anything. I'm not Madoff. I'm not selling you this. I show you. I buy the gold. I buy the silver. Luke buys it. We have it. We're telling you, but it's not a Ponzi scheme. So I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you knowledge. And as we know, knowledge is good, and I'm giving you that. And then you make your decision. I'd be surprised if you didn't buy gold and silver tomorrow, but that's up to you. But if you want to hold your dollar, see, it's like people don't want to get rid of I got 300 grand in the bank. I don't want to move it. Well, it's going to be worth zero very soon. If you put it in gold, you get 150 ounces. That's going to be, 300 grand is going to be worth 3 million soon. You make the call. And I know people don't want to lose their money, but how are you going to lose your money in gold? Worst case happens, nothing really happens. And you go back and you say, yeah, here's 5 ounces. Give me back 10 grand. He gives it to you in 2 seconds. You can't lose with it. It's not a risky. You're not playing a game with it. You're not playing craps with your money, moving it from the bank into gold. It's not a game. It's just it's a trade. The dollar for the gold. That's it. And then you got it. And then if you need to sell it, you sell it back. But when the price of gold jumps through the roof, you're going to be real happy that, hey, yeah, wait, I just made a lot of money, didn't I? And I had no risk. Oh, wait, the dollar went to zero. I would have had 300,000 go to zero on me. And if you think that money can't go to zero, go ask the Romans. I could see these guys in the Roman Empire. Hey, Caesar, come here. What do you mean the dollar? Our dollars are worth zero? Well, we took all the gold and silver out of the coins, so the coins are just copper now. And so basically, we don't have any money. But Caesar, how could we do this? We're Rome. How could we go out? And that's the mentality. We're the U.S. How can we go out? Well, ask the Romans. They went out. If they go out, everybody can go out. So just be careful. Don't get headstrong into believing we're the U.S. and we can't possibly go bankrupt. The surefire way to go bankrupt is to keep printing the money. You print $10 trillion, and believe me, it's worthless. Just like the Bobby Bow card, the difference is, let's say they're both Mahomes. There's only 50 of these, right? This is a 50 count card. This is 1 million printed. No offense, Bobby. So the value on this is $5 and the value on this is 5,000 because it's limited to 50. But if you keep printing it, you lose value. There's too many out there. There's more than the fucking demand. There's not 2 trillion Bobby Bow fans. He only has so much family. And therefore, that's why it's so hard. There's only so many people that want the dollar. And then you're killing the dollar. You're killing the value of it by printing. So when you have $130 trillion outside the U.S. owning U.S. assets for safety and the dollar is going, they will pull their money out. And that will cause huge inflation, and that'll knock the dollar out. The stock market, the housing market, everything will be crushed because of the people outside the U.S. selling their stuff because they don't want it to go to zero. And they better do it quickly. So you'll see the stock market just crash, and you won't know why. And it's because of the foreigners selling their stocks to get back. I want my British pounds because the U.S. dollar is going to zero. Or I want my francs. I want my Swiss francs. I want my yuan. I want my yen, and I want my euros. And I don't want it in dollars anymore. And that's what's going to kill the market. Plus the recession, as Luke stated, all the prices are up. How the hell are we not in a recession? Of course we're in a recession. But if we don't say it, then nobody will know it, which is basically what's happening. So anyway, I got to figure out, is it better to do, now I was going to come on earlier, but I was having a problem with YouTube. So my goal is go to swim about 1:30, talk football. And now there's only a few games left. So it's maybe an hour, and then come on with economics, 2:30-ish, 3-ish, and talk for an hour there, although we're 2 hours, and see what happens. But anyway, so that's about it. I will work on the time, but I'm trying to work on just this was basically scams, Ponzi schemes, Dedollarization, CPI being a scam, and all that stuff. And then the questions from Luke. So anyway, have a good night. Please go to www.teaserking.com. You get my email. Please feel free to ask questions. How do I buy gold and things like that? And what do I do with it? Put it in a safe and stuff like that. So that's what you do with it. Anyway, have a nice day, and I will talk to you soon. Football was earlier. If you're interested in that, I have my site. I sell, but I also talk about all the games. So I gave my picks, and free pick was Kansas City plus the 8.5. All right, everybody, have a great day then, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Thank you very much.